Hello, I'm Mara.
Indeed, you saw that correctly. My sister's birthday party was arranged at my hotel, without my consent. She entered with her fiancé's family, exuding confidence, then locked eyes with me and commanded the staff to remove that homeless woman. I was that homeless woman. Yet, that was far from the most painful moment. The most painful truth was that my whole family was aware. It was meticulously orchestrated. They anticipated my quiet compliance, expecting me to bear the cost alone. The moment I set foot on the porch of my parents' house in New Orleans, a familiar ache settled heavily in my chest, as if my lungs were preparing for the weight of my heart's realization. Early June arrived, thick with humidity, the air heavy with the scent of jasmine and crawfish. 5 months had slipped by since I last set foot in my home, not due to a lack of time, but because I was all too aware of the inevitable outcome. My mother welcomed me with a smile, though it fell short of her eyes. "Mara, my dear, just look at you. Still draped in black, I see?" she whispered, brushing her lips against the air by my cheek. A splash of color could transform everything. I let out a strained chuckle. "Hello, Mom." Dad sat at the dinner table, his lasagna half-eaten, eyes fixed on the plate as if it held the answers to all his troubles. And then came Celine. She reclined on the love seat, exuding an effortless glamour, as if caught in a moment meant for the silver screen, adorned in a designer dress that whispered of untold stories. Her lips twisted into that infuriating half-smile I had come to despise over the years. Well, she declared, rising to her feet. "The enigmatic woman of New Orleans makes her captivating return. Have you completed the task of alphabetizing your spreadsheets at last?" I held back. I nodded silently and settled into the chair opposite her. The table gleamed with our mother's finest china, reserved for moments of significance, holidays, interventions, or life-changing announcements. That was the moment I should have seen it all. The dinner began with an air of tension. Mom praised the clear skies, Dad grumbled about the congestion, and Celine snapped a selfie during dinner, her phone cleverly positioned to exclude my expression. I should have left at that moment. I bit into the bread, forcing myself to believe this was merely dinner. Then Celine rose to her feet. With a radiant smile, she raised her glass, ready to unveil her thrilling news. "My 34RD is approaching, and it's set to be unforgettable, truly on a Kardashian level." I continued to chew, lost in thought. A rooftop in the warehouse district awaits, perfect and untouched. A champagne wall glimmers, live music fills the air, drones capture the moment, and a horse-drawn carriage glides by. Imagine Paris, illuminated in a more captivating glow. She lingered, the silence heavy with anticipation. "What is the total cost?" "Just shy of $210,000, I gasped in disbelief. I placed my glass on the table. She stood resolute. "And you," she declared, her finger aimed straight at me. "Bring it to life. Come on, sis, you're not truly investing your money in anything meaningful." Silence enveloped the room. Even the ceiling fan seemed to freeze in time. I stole a look at Mom, anticipating her to put an end to it. Instead, she inclined her head. A silent question hanging in the air. "Darling, it would truly touch your sister's heart. Fortune has smiled upon you in recent times. Isn't it time to offer something in return?" Dad continued to chew, lost in thought. Silence hung heavy, eyes cast down, words unspoken. In that moment, everything became clear. I was an outsider. I was supporting. I struggled to contain my surging fury, but it felt like a knife in my gut. I slipped away from the table, avoiding words that could haunt me later. Once more. At home, I perched on the kitchen island, a glass of wine in hand, desperately attempting to erase the haunting echoes of the night. The phone vibrated, breaking the silence. It was Ina, my operations manager, the sole person in my life with an uncanny ability to detect deception. "Take a look at Saran's Instagram story." I unveiled it. She shared a genuine split-screen moment. She raises her glass of champagne, laughter mingling with the soft glow of the event around her. A moment suspended in time with her planner by her side. A video captures my car gliding into the driveway, windows down, its paint whispering stories of time. What's the caption? "When your affluent sister hides away as if she's in witness protection." Comments flooded in, each one sharper than the last. At least she embraces her true self, unmasked and real. The house echoes with unease. Can you believe she drives that? I gazed at the screen, lost in its depths. My jaw tightened, a fierce pressure building, as if my molars might shatter under the strain. A cry clawed at my throat. I yearned to reveal to each commenter the entirety of my creation, the possessions I held, and the sweat and effort that fueled it all. Yet I chose not to. I simply gazed. She believes this is just about a birthday party. She remains blissfully unaware of the storm she has unleashed. 2 days slipped away. I let every call go unanswered, every text from my family fade into silence. Ina suggested tossing my phone into the Mississippi, and I found myself seriously considering it. I silenced the chaos, immersing myself in a sea of zoning permits and spreadsheets. My hands moved, yet a heaviness gripped my chest throughout. The video lingered on, accumulating likes, shared by strangers who found humor in my 10-year-old car. A testament to my unpretentiousness in a world obsessed with wealth. She won't back down, Ina declared, her fingers drumming against the conference table. I understand, I replied, but my concern lies elsewhere. Her eyebrow arched, yet I remained silent. I had sensed it all along, like subtle whispers in the dark. But now the wall had shattered, revealing the decay that festered within. That afternoon, as I pored over contracts, a familiar silhouette caught my eye through the frosted glass of my office door. My stomach plummeted. My mother never scheduled her time. She swept in, commanding the room, arms overflowing. I decided to drop in. She placed a Tupperware of banana bread on my desk, a simple gesture that lingered in the air. No receptionist yet? This space deserves a touch of warmth and invitation. I masked my pain with a smile. Hey, Mom. She settled into the chair as if it were her rightful place. Your efforts are overwhelming. You always follow in his footsteps, just like your father. Despite his struggles with finances, you received that from me. I remained quiet. Ina's gaze pierced through the glass, yet I chose silence, leaving her outside. Camille's hand dove into her handbag, emerging with a cream-colored envelope that seemed to hold a world of secrets. I brought something for you to see, she said, her voice airy, as if it were just a recipe or a holiday card. I opened it slowly, anticipation flickering, expecting nothing more than a simple thank you for attending dinner. It was a stark printout, a raw budget breakdown. At the pinnacle, Saran's 34RD Dream event unfolds. Midway through, highlighted in vibrant pink, the venue's contribution stands out. Mara reached out, the weight of $210,000 hanging in the air. Is it confirmed? My throat tightened, parched and heavy. Is it confirmed? I spoke, my voice cutting through the silence before I could hold it back. Who was it that confirmed this? Camille's smile remained unwavering. Darling, let's not complicate this any further. Saran simply can't afford this. And as for your father and me, we're bound by our limited income now. She is your sister. I placed the envelope down as if it were a vessel of poison. She shattered my dignity in front of everyone. She danced with a spark of mischief. She ridiculed my existence. She's navigating a tumultuous chapter. My gaze locked onto her. Are you seriously expecting me to pay for someone who just turned me into a joke for her audience? I won't ask. With a steady voice, she revealed the plan. You've always carried the weight of responsibility. This is precisely what was anticipated. Once more it appeared. That word, anticipated, unasked for, unspoken. I've made my choice. I grasped the Tupperware, returning it with a lingering touch. Thanks for the bread, I said, my voice devoid of warmth. Her expression was raw, as if I'd struck her deeply. Please, Mara, don't do this. You're turning it into a grand spectacle. I believe you've misunderstood what that word means, I said. She rose, adjusting her blouse, as if sealing a pivotal agreement. Just say the word if you need the planner's details. You'll fall for her, she's truly one of a kind. She stepped away, the lingering fragrance of her perfume and that cursed envelope haunting the air. I held it together. I remained silent. I approached the window, gazing down at the street, my jaw tightening with an unyielding grip. They never even inquired. They believed I would trade my voice for peace. I lingered by the window, time slipping away, captivated by the emptiness outside. The sun dipped below the horizon. Its absence felt only when darkness enveloped me. Finally, I switched off the lights, moved through the stillness of the house, and found myself in the kitchen. The banana bread lingered on the counter, encased in cellophane, a silent gesture of reconciliation. I gazed at it, as if it held the power to shift or whisper. When I fell ill as a child, my mother would always bake that same recipe. I once believed it was love. It was a sweet facade hiding a stark truth beneath. I filled a glass with wine, opened my laptop, and fought to concentrate on anything but them. Lease renewals, property maintenance updates, payroll details, everything. Yet my hands remained still. My gaze fixed on the radiant screen, the letters began to fade into a haze. In that moment the memory struck hard. At 10 I lay on a hospital bed, white sheets too thin, machines softly blinking beside me. The beeping pierced the silence, relentless and unyielding. A relentless virus held me captive for over a week, with Mom unwaveringly by my side. She remained huddled in the rigid recliner, cocooned in her coat, her breath shallow and fleeting. In the stillness of the night she whispered, "You are my strength," as her fingers gently caressed my hair. "You rescued me from my own darkness, Mara." I recall the moment, eyes wide, feeling tiny and vulnerable. The following night, I caught her on the phone with Dad. Her voice a storm of anger over the missing insurance forms. We sacrificed it all for her, and then she shattered. "I walked away from my job, Martin. You're toiling through the night like a working tirelessly. I will do whatever it demands. We won't abandon her to that dreadful place." After she hung up, she turned to me, her smile returning as if the moment had never occurred. "We sacrificed everything for you, my love. Just promise me you'll always remember that, all right?" At the age of 10 I simply nodded. In those moments I believed it was love, a deep devotion. I was completely unaware it was a trade agreement. My chest tightened as I sank into the now. In the stillness of the kitchen I stand solitary, surrounded by a freezer brimming with frozen dinners, while no one inquires about my feelings, only about what I can provide. They never inquire, they merely anticipate. And if you refuse, they echo the sacrifices they've made for you. Guilt arrived like a bill, demanding payment for my defiance. Memories flooded back. Those college tuition meetings, where I was meant to grasp that Saran's artistic journey would lead her to shift majors, all while I toiled through the nights. Holidays where my gifts sparked surprise, a quiet acknowledgement for someone alone. Every sacrifice deserved a thank you note, yet mine went unacknowledged. I opened a draft email to my mother. A gentle touch, a careful choice of words. "Your visit means a lot to me. I long for a world where transparency reigns." With a single decisive action I erased it all. With a heavy heart, I approached the freezer, its cold breath escaping as I opened the door. I placed the banana bread gently between the frozen peas and a forgotten bottle of vodka. A moment suspended in time. I shut the door, my eyes unwavering. "I am not your debt to collect," I whispered. "I am not the tale of your salvation." I held back my tears. I too wore a solemn expression. For the first time in ages I sensed a firm ground beneath me. I once believed that to be needed was to be loved. Now uncertainty grips me. The following morning found me at my desk downtown, as early as ever, before the coffee shop across the street flickered to life. Sleep eluded me, yet fatigue was a stranger. I felt a sudden clarity, as if my body had chosen to abandon the chaos of emotions, ready to forge ahead in unwavering paths. The inbox buzzed with the familiar. Client inquiries, floral vendor confirmations, requests for fall weddings. Yet none of it sparked my interest. Then Ina stepped inside, clutching a manila envelope as if it were a ticking bomb. The courier arrived just 10 minutes ago, her voice devoid of emotion. It was from Saran's fiancé's assistant, marked urgent. But guess whose name it bears? It fell onto my desk, a silent weight of unspoken words. My full name was elegantly inscribed in a serif font, positioned just beneath the embossed title, Monroe Events Group. With a deliberate slowness I unveiled it. Within lay a dense, lustrous contract packet, its weighty pages adorned with gold-trimmed tabs, unmistakably Saran. It appeared to be just another reservation agreement for a place I'd never encountered before, the Imperial Deck House, one of those lavish rooftop venues that seem to drain your wallet downtown. A family contact section had been sketched in, revealing the name, Mara Calder, Financial Liaison. Signature required. It all clicked when I turned to page 6, where it lay hidden in small print, buried within a subclause about liability adjustments. If the primary booking party does not make full payment within 30 business days, the designated family contact will be held accountable for any outstanding balances, fees, and penalties, including legal and collection expenses. I blinked, read it once more, and then a brief, dry laugh escaped me. She truly believed I wouldn't uncover this. I spoke with a hint of disbelief. Ina folded her arms tightly. She believed guilt would be the one to write it for you. My fingers curled gently around the contract, just enough to sense its resistance without crumpling it. Silence enveloped me. Words felt unnecessary. I tucked the entire packet into my lower drawer, marking it in my mind as evidence. I remarked if she invested this much energy into her own finances, she wouldn't require a backup wallet bearing my face. Ina arched an eyebrow, a flicker of intrigue crossing her face. Do you want me to tear it apart? Let the number linger in her thoughts. I opened my email, crafted a new message, and directed it to the assistant of Monroe Events Group. Cold and distant. Subject regarding. Request for contract. Form. Documents submitted through emotional channels will not be processed. Every future message must pass through our legal department. Unsolicited contracts will remain unrecognized. And reached out to her. I pressed send. With a swift motion, I opened my calendar, scrolled to the upcoming week, and set a new recurring event into motion. Title: Observe Financial Landscapes. Family. I lingered on the screen, then murmured to myself, that's the last time I'll be caught off guard. This was no longer heartbreak nor betrayal. It had transformed into something else entirely. This is business, and in business I remain calm. I refuse to raise my voice. I'll construct a barrier so towering, it will resonate deep within them. Saturday mornings at Somerset were once my sanctuary. Silent preparations, clipboard clutched tightly, assessing linens, lighting, and floral arrangements, akin to a maestro fine-tuning an ensemble before the audience's arrival. This morning, as I glided through the marble foyer, I sensed it. A palpable current in the air. A disquieting tension lingered in the air. Ina followed closely, her tablet in hand, meticulously verifying the system updates. She halted by the mirrored hallway, her eyes narrowing at the screen. Have you given the green light for the white gardenias for next weekend's VIP event? She inquired. No, I said, my voice steady yet heavy with unspoken weight. The calendar for next weekend remains untouched. Her brows knitted tightly. Indeed, someone did. The request has been submitted, accompanied by ice sculptures, imported candles from Provence, and a special permit for live music. I approached, my eyes darting over the entry, client name, SE3 initials, and a sudden weight settled in my chest. She wouldn't, I murmured, lost in my own thoughts. Ina tilted her head, a flicker of curiosity crossing her face. Perhaps she will. We rushed to the booking records in the back office. I logged in, slipped past the third-party event manager, and there it stood, waiting. Somerset Grand Luxe Experience. Arranged through an outside agency. It's the weekend of Celine's birthday. Silence envelopes the moment. No call, no email, no warning. She reserved my venue with the casualness of booking a hotel, as if I were just another stranger passing through. She's pushing you, Ina whispered, her voice heavy with concern. Canceling it now would only make you seem small, especially with the party already in motion. It was brilliant. Despairing yet cunning. I remained silent. I accessed the security camera footage from the night before, and there she stood. Graceful in heels that defied the cobblestone, she glided through my ballroom as if it were her own spotlight. Laughing, gesturing, speaking passionately to a wedding planner I had never seen before. Her hands danced wildly as she gestured toward the terrace, twirling in a complete circle to capture the essence of the moment. She's strutting around as if she owns the whole awful place. Ina whispered, her voice laced with frustration. I reclined in my chair, arms crossed tightly. I was transfixed by the screen. She believes I won't dare to reach for her in the open. Ina remained quiet, fully aware that breaking such profound silence was unwise. She believed this was a dance of appearances, a delicate balance of subtlety and unspoken tension. Yet here she was in my backyard where the rules shifted and reality blurred. Don't cancel anything, I declared at last. Not yet. Ina's gaze lingered, heavy with unspoken words. Are you really allowing her to go through with this? I'm allowing her to dig her own grave. A blank folder appeared on my desktop, waiting in silence. SC an unauthorized booking unfolds, leading to a subfolder. Capture every communication, document it all. She craves this party to be her defining moment, I replied, my gaze sharpening. Let's ensure she fights for every inch of it. Ayane's lips curled into a sly smirk. Do you seek a record of this? I crave a mountain. We stepped back into the foyer. As the staff meticulously arranged the bridal brunch, a silent war raged just beyond their sight. This transcended candles and contracts. This transcended a mere birthday. This was a story of ownership, a name etched on the gate, carrying weight in history. On a Wednesday afternoon, the world held its breath. In my home office, I toiled away, the windows slightly ajar, allowing the sweet fragrance of gardenia to drift in from the front yard. At last, I had rediscovered my rhythm, organizing contracts, refining floor plans, and savoring my second coffee amidst a tranquil hush. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. Ina. Ballroom camera 3 is capturing something significant. Don't miss it. I chose not to inquire about her meaning. I dove into the live surveillance feed, heart racing with anticipation. Somerset's ballroom came alive on my screen. Crystal chandeliers shimmering, gold-trimmed sconces illuminating the space with a gentle glow. And then she appeared before me, tranquil. She strides across the floor in 5-inch stilettos, her voice rising in a passionate tirade. Is this the color scheme? Is this for real? This resembles a middle school prom. She gestured wildly at the decorator, who remained motionless beside the incomplete centerpiece. The florist beside her flinched as Saren ripped a rose from the arrangement and slammed it down. Is this what you define as luxury? This feels heavy. My followers are going to criticize for this. A young staffer hurried past, arms brimming with linens. With a sudden snap of her fingers, Celine commanded attention. Tsiu. Hey linen girl. The fabric isn't what I requested. Is there anyone here who can read? The girl halted, breath caught in her throat. Her struggle with English revealed a deeper story beneath the surface. Her smile was hesitant, yet she continued on her path. Celine let out a sharp sigh, her eyes narrowing in frustration. Incredible. Are you really allowing novices to take charge here? And then she took the leap. She seized the clipboard from the table, her eyes darting over the contents before she hurled it down with such force that it soared off and crashed onto the marble floor. I stood my ground. I stood there unflinching. I just experienced. At that moment, Ina entered the scene, poised, back straight, her face a mask of mystery. This is a private venue under contract, she stated with unwavering clarity. Her voice sliced through the chaos, sharp and clear. Our team must be honored with the respect they deserve. Celine turned slowly, her gaze piercing through Ina as if she were an insect trapped against glass. Oh, just save your breath. Do you truly understand who I am? Ina moved with unwavering resolve. Do you feel it? For a moment, silence enveloped the room. Celine scoffed, her back turned, whispering bitterly about ungrateful staff and the ever-ready presence of her lawyer. Yet her words faded into silence for me. I had absorbed everything essential. I reclined in my chair, eyes fixed on the screen as Celine erupted from the scene, the last moments unfolding with intensity. I pressed rewind and watched it once more. Yet, her voice lingers, her face etched in memory, her entitlement captured forever. I reduced the video to a small window and revealed a folder that had been patiently waiting on my desktop. A moment of reckoning. Within lay a single file, Client Policy Section 3.2, detailing the grounds for termination and ban. It was unmistakable, a barrage of hostility directed at the staff, slander against the venue, deliberate destruction of property. Every single point ticked off. With a swift motion, I pulled the video into the folder. In her innocent play, she revealed the depths of her soul, offering me everything I sought without a hint of awareness. She offered me all I craved, unaware of her impact. 2 days later, the Somerset ballroom radiated elegance, as if plucked from the pages of a glossy magazine. Orchids, vibrant and fresh, adorned the marble banisters. Golden chairs stood sentinel beside ivory linens. The chandeliers glimmered, as if aware of the impending fate. Celine glided through the arched entryway, embodying the essence of a film star, her hips swaying and laughter echoing softly. Brandon lingered in her shadow, watchful yet removed. Alina and Wilson Monroe moved with a heavy, measured grace. They were the type who gauged spaces by the way the air whispered through them. Celine gestured towards the majestic staircase. "Isn't this breathtaking? It echoes through time." From my office above, I observed it all unfold through the flickering security feed. Ina stood at the entrance, her demeanor a perfect blend of grace and poise, welcoming them with an air of unwavering professionalism. She glanced up at the camera, offering a subtle nod. Moments. I tightened the cuffs of my navy blazer, aligned my posture, and held my breath. From the depths, Celine began her poignant soliloquy. The chandeliers? Imported from Austria. Tailored to perfection. The owner collaborates with elite clients. Exceptionally rare. Alina tilted her head, a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. Who holds the reins? Celine's smile stretched impossibly wide. Our ties run deep. Wilson clasped his hands tightly. So you're unaware? Just as she was about to stumble through another excuse, Ina moved in closer and activated her tablet with a decisive press. The ambient music ceased abruptly. Silence enveloped the room as I started my descent. The sound of my heels echoed against the marble steps, precise and piercing. All gazes fixated. I halted at the midpoint, locked eyes with Celine, and gave a subtle smile. And so I pressed onward. "Welcome to Somerset," I said, extending my hand to Alina. "I am Mara Calder, the visionary behind this estate." Wilson's eyes flickered open. Alina arched an eyebrow, her gaze igniting with intrigue rather than indignation. Tranquil. She appeared as if the ground had vanished beneath her feet. "Is this your domain?" Her voice cracked. "Yet you reside in that little house." I faced her, steady and resolute. A savvy businesswoman keeps her strengths discreetly hidden, revealing them only when the moment is right. She constructs them piece by piece, allowing their voices to resonate on their own. Alina's smile unfurled, a delicate bloom in the quiet moment. What a breath of fresh air. I started to wonder if anyone under 60 still understood the meaning of discretion. Wilson nodded, a flicker of understanding crossing his face. "Truly remarkable, Miss Calder. Truly remarkable." Brandon's gaze pierced through me, revealing a depth of feeling I hadn't seen before. No sympathy, no uncertainty. Awareness. Celine stood still, her lips parted, searching for words that eluded her. Silence lingered. I held back my triumph. I held back. I turned to Ina, my heart racing. "Take the Monroes to the East Terrace," I instructed, my voice steady yet laced with urgency. "I'll be with them soon." Ina nodded, her gesture sweeping elegantly toward the corridor. As they advanced, Celine hung back, her breath quickening, fists tightly balled. I walked by without a glance in her direction. For the first time, their applause felt unnecessary. The stage was mine. We glided across the terrace, each step measured, untouched by the world around us. The Monroe family surveyed the grounds with a poised grace, exchanging knowing glances and whispering few words. Alina drew me away by the fountain, while Celine struggled to weave herself back into the dialogue. "Did you create all of this?" Alina inquired. "From the very foundation," I declared. She inhaled deeply, her gaze piercing through me. A blend of judgment and understanding that only those who have truly lived can convey. "You embody the qualities our family holds dear. Silent power, genuine impact." Celine's voice pierced the silence, echoing from behind us. "Alina, wait. Can we talk for a moment?" Her voice was barely a whisper. For the first time since their childhood, her voice echoed with the innocence of a younger sister. Yet Alina remained still, refusing to turn around. Wilson stepped forward, his hand landing decisively on Brandon's shoulder. He spoke to him with stark clarity, urging him to rethink his priorities. Brandon's gaze shifted from Celine to me, a moment heavy with unspoken words. His silence echoed louder than words ever could. The silence offered no refuge for her soul. It laid her bare. Celine collapsed in the hallway, tears streaming down her face as they turned their backs. She leaned against the mirrored wall, sinking to the floor as her makeup blurred, her voice trembling in a broken sob. I pressed on, silent and resolute. I strode past her, confidence radiating, footsteps unwavering, heart a mystery. That night, I came home and extinguished every light, leaving only the kitchen aglow. The silence felt transformed. It was not void. It was a hard-fought victory. As I cradled my tea, my phone vibrated, revealing a solitary message from my father. "Can we have a moment to connect?" I paused, then pressed the call button. He responded without hesitation. "Hello, my dear princess." I remained silent. Perhaps it's best to hold back a little, all right? The celebration lingers. Her birthday week endures. That was the moment. That was the moment he had to express. "I'm not proud of you, not at all. You navigated that moment with such poise. Simply stay calm. This is her moment." I stifled a soft laugh into the phone. "I stood there," I declared. "I was there, just inches away, yet you remained blind to my presence." He let out a heavy breath. "It's different than you think." "It is precisely that way," I declared. "It has always been this way. We simply want the family to remain together." "Unbroken," I interrupted. "It has always been fractured. It stands precariously around Saren, a fragile house of cards." He faced the truth head-on. "I'm not angry," I declared, a surprising serenity washing over me. "I'm completely finished." He hesitated. "That can't be true." "Yes, I do." I ended the call. With a quiet resolve, I tucked the phone away in the drawer by the sink, closing it softly behind me. The lights of New Orleans flickered defiantly in the enveloping darkness. Melodies drifted through the air, echoing from a nearby jazz bar, stirring the soul. A song that stirs your soul, leaving you both yearning and alive. I witnessed every moment, standing alone, resolute in the silence, not expecting a call back, simply inhaling. I still have my family. I finally gave up on expecting them to be there. 2 weeks slipped away. Silence reigns, no need for excuses. Silence envelopes. A silence that held its breath. It found its place. As I sat at my kitchen table surrounded by contracts and the remnants of lukewarm coffee, an email caught my eye. Subject line, "My heartfelt apologies." By Marcus Caldwell. I pressed it, unable to silence the voice inside me. "You were right all along. I should have taken a stand. I regret it deeply. Dad, that was the moment. Absolutely no exceptions. Direct and unyielding. No, but you understand your sister's ways." Only one fleeting sentence. Delayed yet pristine. I immersed myself in it 5 times. In that moment I erased it all. Yet, a smile broke through in that moment. Somerset raced on, unyielding. It was a powerful rush. 3 weddings awaited us next month, alongside 2 corporate galas and a high-profile fundraiser that had the local news buzzing with curiosity. Ina found herself navigating a whirlwind of requests from planners across 4 states. She entered my office, tablet in hand, as if carrying the weight of the world. Alina Monroe's niece reached out, her voice steady yet urgent. "She sought you out unmistakably." "She certainly did," I replied. "We will protect her fiercely." I truly meant it. On that very day, my phone flickered to life with a notification from a wedding industry blog. The influencer event has been called off. Somerset stands resolute, denying any connection. Whispers grow louder. Are these lavish events merely a facade? Within the ruins of a brand's downfall. Someone's social brand in the air. Unspoken yet unmistakable. That evening, driven by a spark of curiosity, I delved into Celine's socials. Her latest video lingered, yet the energy had shifted. Dimly lit, barefaced silence envelopes the scene. Comments have been disabled. Her gaze locked onto the camera. A silence stretching for nearly 2 minutes before her voice broke through. I couldn't bring myself to see it all. Not for lack of ability, but for the absence of necessity. There was only emptiness, a void where emotions should have burned, leaving nothing but a breathless silence. I shut the app, laid my phone down, and stepped outside, clutching a glass of wine. The porch radiated warmth, bathed in the fiery embrace of the setting sun. The street lay still, the only sound the whisper of wind weaving through the live oaks. I passed my parents' house that morning, hesitated for a fleeting moment, but kept moving forward. It wasn't bitterness. It was the absence of a once-felt pull. I once believed that peace arrived with apologies, when the balance shifted in your favor, when the villains were unmasked, and the family acknowledged their faults. Yet peace whispers softly beyond the noise. Peace is the quiet step taken when no one beckons you to leave. Peace is the silence that follows the unspoken words. Peace is a quiet refusal, a choice made without the need for justification. I raised the glass to my lips, savoring the rich taste of the wine. The night enveloped me, a gentle sigh in the darkness. Perhaps the true act of revenge lies not in victory, but in the grace of walking away unscathed. I've come to realize that true peace isn't found in how others treat you. It arrives the moment you recognize your own worth. For years, I believed that loyalty was synonymous with silence. Being a good daughter, a good sister, felt like dimming my own light so others could glow brighter. Yet, the reality is that retreating has never rescued anyone. Love for family can coexist with boundaries. You can leave without carrying the weight of resentment. Stop seeking approval from those who never truly saw you. I didn't triumph by raising my voice. I triumphed by embracing my own voice. May I pose a question to you? Have you ever sensed your presence fading in the narrative of your own life? Have you ever shouldered a burden of guilt that was never meant for you? Share your thoughts below. Share your truth with me. If this story resonated with you, drop a 1, or share where you're tuning in from. If it didn't resonate with you, that's perfectly fine. Share your thoughts and let me know why. Was it the message that struck a chord, the pace that quickened the heart, or the ending that lingered in the mind? This channel captures the essence of true stories that resonate with genuine lives. If you crave genuine, heartfelt storytelling like this, be sure to subscribe. Uncertainty lingers in the air. This story could be the one that captures your emotions perfectly. Thank you for sharing this moment with us. Until we meet again.